All right, let me get everybody muted one more time, and then we are gonna get going. Oh, I lost Brittany. Oh no, there you are. Okay, and Christy's on. Good deal. All right, you guys. So how is everybody? It's conference week. Holy moly, how excited are all of my friends? Like, oh my gosh, it's going to be what's coming later this week. Like, I don't even think you guys, like, you're not even ready for it. It's going to be literally life-changing. I get goosebumps every single time I think about it because I know we have so many people going for the very first time, and it is like, it's like nothing you ever experienced. It's going to change your business, but more so it's going to change you as a person. So I'm so excited for every single person who's going to get to experience it. But tonight we are going to kick it back old school. We're going to be talking about host to post tonight, you guys, because this blew up everybody's business last year. And then I think we kind of we just got kind of stagnant and stale with it. And we didn't really try to switch it up and make sure we were doing all the things to keep it working for us. And so I know that I personally, I had taken some time off from doing it. Brittany, I know you had as well. But you guys, host to post still freaking works. It still works. We just have to do it. And so I'm going to lay the groundwork, and then Britt's going to talk about what's working for her. Christy's going to talk about what's working and how she's getting her new people started with host to post. But I'm just going to explain, because I know we have some newer people on here. So if you've been in a minute, this is going to be review 101 on host to post, just kind of laying the groundwork of what we're even talking about. But host to post is an incredible tool. But you guys, it's just another tool that we have in our tool belt. This does not replace any of the other things that we do. It makes some of them a little bit easier, but it is literally one of the best business building tools that we have. And something you will hear lots of leaders talk about host to post, and we all do it a little bit different, and that is okay. You find what works for you. The key is you have to do it consistently. You will hear that 55 times tonight. You have to do it consistently. If you do it one day, you take off a week, you do it one day, you take off a week, you will not get the results from it that you're wanting to see, okay? So it is something that in order for it to cause massive growth, because that's what it can impact your business massively when used consistently, okay? And it's just one of those things, it goes in with all the things we do to build our business, the adding to our network. It's going to take care of that kind of naturally. It's going to make that easier. The conversations that you want to be having about products and about the business, it helps start those. That doesn't mean you're not going to have to message, and that doesn't mean you're not going to have to add people outside of this, but it does help speed up the results, and it gets people in your network that are interested in what you're offering, both the products and the business, okay? So what host to post is literally, it just means that you're asking either your friends on Facebook or on Instagram or friends and family in real life to make a post for you. Okay, there are lots of different ways you can do this, and Brittany, I know, is going to talk about maybe one way, and Christy might talk about a different way that you actually get people to post for you. But that's all it means, is that they are going to make a post on social media for you. So it could look something like, hey, my friend Trista is looking for 5 people who want to lose weight, or 5 people who want to, whatever it looks like. You can also do it for the business opportunity. So my friend Trista is looking for 5 people who want to make money. We're going to talk more specifics later, but that's essentially what host to post is. Now, the key with host to post is somebody makes the post for you, and then that gets you exposure to their network. Okay, so it allows you to grow your network naturally. When someone comments on that post, you guys, you have to send them a friend request. That is one of the most important parts to making host to post work for you. Okay, because if you are putting somebody whose network you are not in, is putting a post up for you on their wall, and somebody's interested in it, that is somebody in your network now that is legit interested in the product that you're offering. So even if they don't, order right away, I just sent out a host to post that had 45 comments on it. I haven't signed a single customer from it, but I have added 45 friends who now are interested in TFX or in losing weight, or I think it was TFX. So just know, like, you may not see the results like that day, but that is okay because you're adding to your network. If they don't accept it, they don't accept it. That's fine. It's whatever. So you're going to have some people that don't. That's fine. I always will comment back to them on the post that they commented on and say, hey, I'm sending you a message, or hey, I sent you a friend request. If they haven't accepted my friend request within a couple of days, I might go back and just be like, hey, I sent you a friend request. Just want to make sure you saw it. But if they don't accept it, I mean, it is what it is. You're going to have some people that don't accept it, but that's fine. You will have a lot of people that do. And so just make sure you're sending that friend request every single time, because that gets people into your network that are actually interested in what you have, okay? Another thing, you got to keep track of people. Facebook is a little bit tricky right now, and I'm not going to lie. Like, notifications are wonky. Team pages are wonky. Like, Facebook is just, it's just wonky. And so you have to, like, find a system that works for you. I know Christy is great about just using a piece of paper. She's got a tracker in the files in every single team page where it's all listed out. You have up the top whose host to post it was, like who actually posted for you, and then the list of names that of people that commented. So you can don't lose track of people. That is like another key, because you're going to want to be able to follow up with everybody. So keep track of who posted for you and who commented. The other thing is, notifications are seriously weird. So just because you don't get notified doesn't mean that people aren't commenting. So you need to actually go look at their wall, the post they made for you, review your timeline. I personally still have people tag me. I know there's like, some people say don't have them tag you. Some people say do. I personally still have them tag me. That's just my preference. You do what works for you. But if somebody tags you, you want to make sure that you have it, so your settings, so that it's not going to show up on your wall. Okay, so they can tag you, but it doesn't actually show up on your timeline. You can do that under settings on Facebook. But then I will just go to review timeline. And like, if I go to my review timeline, so I just pull up my Facebook page, click on the 3 little dots right here, and then review timeline. And I'm going to be able to see everybody who has tagged me in a post, but everybody who's made a host a post for me. So this is a host a post, didn't get any comments or anything. You will have that. That is totally fine. That doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. That is normal. I want you to hear me. That is so normal. And that, I mean, honestly, like, if I send out 10, my goal is 10 hosts to post a day. If I send out 10, I can have 8 of them with no comments. It is what it is. But I could have 2 of them that have 45 or 23 comments on it. It's a numbers game. The more you put out, the more that you're going to have that really take off. For people who have been in a while and you're like, yeah, whatever, Trista, like, host to post doesn't work for me anymore. I have spent a lot of time the past few months, and I think that's why my host to posts are going well again. I spent a lot of time going through my network and revamping my network. Having quality people added to my network has made the biggest difference. So if your host to posts are dead, it's because your network is dead, or they've seen it. And maybe you haven't been as good about adding new people into your network consistently. That is one reason that your host to posts are falling flat. So really work on getting new people into your network that are quality. But you can just review your timeline and see everybody who's made a post for you, and just make sure that you've commented back. You've sent the friend request. You have their names written down. So that's host to post in a nutshell. Does anybody have any questions before we move on, or anything you're not sure about? Do you add people that you don't even know? Sure do. Yep. So I personally don't add from suggested friends, because what you find, especially the more you get into this, you're a little bit newer, so you might not have this yet, but what you'll find is Facebook likes to kind of group you with people who have common interests. And so that's who they're going to show you. over time, your network on Facebook is going to become a lot of MLM people. You're going to, you're going to be friends with your team. You're going to be friends with sidelines, uplines. And so you will start to get a lot of either it works people or just multi-level marketing people in your suggested friends. And so I personally, I do not add from suggested friends. I usually add from friends of friends. That's me. You can also add through Facebook groups if you have some groups that you're kind of active in, just people with common interests, whether that's, I used to be in a lot of like nursing groups or mom groups. You can add from there as well, just people with common interests. But I personally don't ever add from suggested friends. Yeah, so make sure you have it. So you have to review timeline, because if you're doing host to post, your page will become nothing but host to post if you don't have post approval on. So make sure that you have that set. What are the best host to post? We'll get into that in a little. I think probably Brittany will talk about that. Maybe even Christy will talk about what we're actually using right now. Okay. All right, Britt, let's come to you. And if you guys have more questions as we're going through it, just put them in the chat and we'll go through them as we go.
Okay, where exactly do you have questions, or do you want me to start going through my stuff?
You just.
Okay, I'm going to start at the beginning. How do you get people to do a host to post for you? Couple things. You're going to find that what works for me may not work for you, okay? It's kind of trial and error. Sometimes something blows up, so then I'll do the exact same thing a couple weeks later and it gets no hits for whatever reason. And what's funny is I felt like I took time and got a better, more creative picture. You never know what's going to work. So I'm just going to give you some ideas that I want you to write down. One is like taking a selfie or having someone take a picture of you holding a gift card. Now here's the fun part. I understand that everyone is kind of part of different host to posts, but I'm assuming most of them are a certain amount of money. If you're part of a host to post, and let's say like this time the host to post that I'm personally doing it's $200. We're giving it away this Sunday. I can promote that as a gas gift card today. And then in 2 days, I could promote it as a Target card. And then in 2 days, I could promote it as a grocery card. And then in 2 days, I could promote it as cash. And then if one of my winners wins, I could look back and see what post it was that they commented on and make sure that I give them that money to do with what they want. Does that make sense? I think some people, we got to turn our creativity on here, okay? Just because we say $200 cash, because here's what's funny. You would think people following you would know, oh, cash, I can use it for whatever I want to use it for. But for whatever reason, people don't think that. You say Target gift card, they're like, oh, I'm all over it. You say cash, they're like, no. It's the same thing. Take your cash and go to Target, right? But the picture gets their attention. Okay, for instance, many times I'll go to Target and literally just sit in their display holding one of their gift cards. I didn't even buy the gift card. I just took it from the front, went to the back, took a picture, and I go and put the gift card right back. Okay, here's another idea is just simple text. No picture at all. Just type. We're giving away $200 this Sunday or whatever it is that you or guys are giving away. Drop a comment if you want an entry. No picture, just text. Sometimes you're going to see that works. Sometimes you're going to see it gets no hits. An idea of maybe picture of just money. If you have a little bit of money, take a picture of money. Another is your family maybe holding a sign. The other day, a couple weeks ago, I literally just took a piece of paper, I wrote on it, and then I had Zella hold it up. I knew some people would comment just because it was Zella. I'm not above or below that game. I'll do whatever it takes to get people to comment so that I can figure out who I want to message. Here's a new idea that, to be real honest with you, and one of the things that I told myself in 2020 I wasn't going to do, which is why I'm on TikTok these days, is because I said I will never overanalyze anything to the point that I keep myself from seeing success because I'm waiting to see if it really works or not. No, just do whatever you need to do, right? So I've been watching people do things where it's like, they post a picture of like ice cream and they say, tell me your favorite ice cream favorite flavor below. Well, for whatever reason in my mind, I'm like, I don't like that. Like, I don't like that it's kind of being deceiving, because really what you're going to do is you're going to turn around and ask them to host a post for you. But then I also watched it work for so many people, and here I am overanalyzing it, right? So what I do today, I took a picture of me and my dog today, and I even said, like, I'm going to read it to you just so you can see. It says, just curious, who has a pet? If you own a pet, drop a picture below with its name. I want to see how many different pets we have and all the unique names. My story may make you giggle. Then I told a story of how I have Toots Couture. Go read the post if you want to see about that. And then I said, drop your pics below. I'm giving away $200 next Sunday. This is one of 2 steps to earn your name in the pot. Next step is to check your messages. No purchase needed. Friends, I'm up to 109 comments. The last 3 weeks of me doing my host to post giveaways has gotten like maybe 8 comments, and it's the same people that are getting 0 hits. So to be quite honest, I don't even want to message them and ask them to do that. Does that make sense? Be creative. And so here's what I'm finding that I'm realizing is we all want to feel important, right? We all want to tell someone about ourselves. So instead of just drop me below if you want an entry, ask them a question that you're getting to know them, and people want to tell you about themselves. So that's one of the things I'm going to start doing is they're going to be more interactive posts. I'm going to post a picture of maybe my family and I at Disney, and I'm going to say, this was one of my all-time favorite trips. Drop below your all-time favorite trip that you've taken. Does that make sense? People will comment just because they want to tell me their favorite trip. Now, here's how I'm handling this. I'm personally going to take the extra time, and I'm going to go to like the first, like for instance, there's Yoshi. Yoshi is a pet, and it looks like a lizard. I'm literally going to message this girl and say, oh my goodness, so crazy. You have a dragon lizard named Yoshi. That is so sweet. Thank you for commenting. Now, to confirm your name for my giveaway, I'm going to have you make a quick post for me. I'm going to take the time and I'm going to customize it, because I will be honest, they are worth that time to me. And that is something I feel like I have failed in the past. It's not that they weren't worth it. It's that I was so trying to be systematic that I lost a little of that connection. Okay. Here's the deal. I'm going to prepare myself. I guarantee 109 people don't end up doing a host to post for me. Because actually some of the people I'm recognizing, I'm giggling like, oh girl, you didn't even read my whole post, because I know you don't want to promote my It Works business because you really don't like that I do it. You know what I mean? And that's okay. They just want to tell me about their darn pet. That's okay. Maybe they need a hug. I'm still going to message them, right? So that's the one thing I want you to do is I want you to just be creative. Now here's going to come the scary part. Do you want to know what's really been working for me before I had the idea to talk about pets today? Because honestly, it's not been making posts. It's not been saying I'm giving away. It's not been doing this. I honestly was just making those posts so you guys knew I was working my business. Because I know a percentage, like my team will do a percentage of what I do. And your team will do a percentage of what you do. Okay? I was just putting it out there so, because what's funny is I can tell when I make a post, here comes all these people that turn around and make a post as well, right? To be honest, where I'm getting my people to do host a post is I'm asking them, flat out asking them. So let me just read kind of like what I'm doing. I have been using the whole, hey, so-and-so, I have a quick question. When they respond, I respond with, I'm trying to help my team. Hit some promotions this month, and I'm asking for your help. Would you be willing to put a post up for me on your wall? I will do all the work. All you have to do is copy and paste, and in return, I'll add your name to my $200 giveaway drawing this Sunday. Some are saying, okay, here's what I'm getting. I'm either getting, yes, I will, and they do it, or I get no response. I'm not getting very many no's. Some people do, but most people just don't respond. Okay. So but here's the other thing. Here's where I'm focusing. And I, first of all, I just want to say thank you to those of you, and it's okay if you don't have your camera on, that's fine. I understand some of you may be in the shower. Don't turn your camera on, keep doing you. Okay. I get it. Don't turn your camera on. But for those of you that are, thank you. Cause I feel like it's weird when you feel like you're talking to no one. And when people just like shake their head, they're like, okay, they understand what I'm talking about. Why does my computer, do I keep freezing? Random like apps keep like, Excel keeps popping up and like all these things keep popping up and it's like distracting. What was I saying? Trista, help me. Where was I at? Do you know?
I was typing your message. So I don't know.
Christy, do you know where I was at? What was I talking about?
Yeah, you were saying that some people say yes, some people, not very many people say no. And
Yes,
some people
thank you
don't
so
try.
much. Thank you. So
You're
here's
welcome.
the thing. What I was going to say is thank you for having your video on, because I'm going to ask you a question. Do some of you find that it's the same people that are willing to post for you, that they're the ones that keep commenting on all your giveaways? Well, first of all, how sweet of them to be willing. Okay. And it's not that we're not grateful for them, but some of them, if they don't get comments, they don't get comments every time. One thing I do like about reaching out to them, and one thing I do love about asking people, is I'm asking who I want to ask. I'm going to people that have solid networks, that they post on social media, that they really would be killer at what I do. I just don't want to ask them yet. Don't worry, I will ask them, because when their host to post blows up, that's exactly what I'm doing. And to be honest, I feel like because I have a social media presence and I work this like a business and I take this seriously and I'm not quitting ever, and I've shown that I take this very seriously, I don't have a problem asking people that I look up to and that I respect to make a post for me. And I'm getting some really good feedback from them doing it. So those are my ideas of like how to find who wants to post for you. Okay. Some of them be creative. Some of them are interacting posts, and the other one is flat out ask them to do you a favor. Okay. Now let's go into, sorry, I took notes. If not, I see squirrels and I have to ask Christy and Trista what I was talking about. So then here's the thing. Just like Trista said, you know how she said that she has people tag her in her host to post because that works for her? That doesn't work for me. So you're going to take all of what you hear and you're going to find what works for you. Okay? How you will find what works for you is to actually do it. Okay, it's like put it into action. So here's what's really working for me. I always do 2 host to post at one time. I have a business one set up and ready, and I have a product one set up and ready. And depending who's posting for me, that depends on which one I have them do. If I think that they would be phenomenal at their business themselves, and I can tell that their network is very, I don't even know if professional is the word, but if they would be like killer at a social media business, I have them make a business post. If they're not really as professional or social media savvy, but I can tell that they have a lot of people that follow them, I have them do a product post. Now, let me read to you. Let me tell you how simple this is. Oh, here's the other thing, and I'm sure Christy's going to talk about this. I'm actually excited to hear from Christy because she is going to be giving us tips from another lady that I think that signed like 49 customers, 40-something customers, and like 9 distributors, something crazy, all from host to post, okay? It works, and it's working well. Here's one thing, disclaimer, and Christy will be able to like say whether this is true or not for Tracy's tips and her tips as well, but like one of the things where we really started to not see success is when we were all using the exact same post. Okay, so as much as I would love to say like, oh my goodness, like I'm going to give it to you, but if you use it, you'd be shooting yourself in your own foot. It's not going to work if you all use it, okay? And it's okay, because if I see one of you using it, I'm just going to then change my wording again. And I actually do kind of change up my wording anyways. So for instance, my business host to post says, my girl Britt has an opportunity I want to share with you. If you're interested, you can drop a comment or send her a text. I don't say money. I don't say earn extra income. I literally say nothing. But the picture that I have them post is me And then at the top, it has like typed extra income opportunity, text money to with my number. I will say I'm getting quite a few texts from strangers. Okay. Once again, like Trista said, it's not about them saying yes. It's about building your list. Something else that I'm going to jump around, but it's going to make sense for the conversation right now. The fortune is in the follow-up in this business. And I'm going to be honest. I don't love that part because it's one part that I like. Hello, my word for 2020 was follow through because I follow through on nothing. Okay. I could probably be top 5 if I would follow through on all the people that tried to join me from New Mexico a few years ago. And I told them we weren't open there. That's a side note. That's a side joke you guys will have to hear sometime. But anyways, here's what's super fun, okay? In this business, randomly, we have kit promotions, right? They'll discount them. Randomly, we have product promotions. One area that I've had to kick myself is that if I would have not given up on host to post, and then let's say I did TFX, right? And I had 500 people that wanted the information, but not one of them took like bit the bait, not one of them signed up. But then when we came out with BOGO TFX, I would have had 500 people that I could reach out to and say, hey, I know we talked about TFX. Right now it's buy one, get one free. Are you interested? But when you don't have a list, the promotions, if you're anything like me, I don't do very well with, for me, promotions don't do well unless I have an existing list. I don't do very well with them putting a promotion out and it lasts 3 days and then all of a sudden I'm like, I kill it for those 3 days. No, I kill it when I had a list of people to message. So that's how I kind of want you to look at this business post. Now, let me read you my, okay, so personally, so that's the business one. Very simple, a picture with text. Don't say money. Don't say extra income because the thing is, Facebook is going to flag those words, okay? The other thing, when it comes to having my product post, I recommend you doing a product that you believe in, that you have your own personal result pictures from, if that is an option. Now, I'm not saying that every single person that does host to post does that, but that's why it's working for me. Because the second that I have people that are interested, guess what the first picture I send them? These are the results I got from using the coffee, the chocolate greens, the TFX. It's like it seals the deal because I'm not selling anything to them. I'm just sharing something that worked for me, okay? Here's what it sounds like. Here's my host to post idea. It says, my girl Brett has been seeing amazing results. She is now setting others up on this plan too. Average weight loss is around 30 pounds in 90 days, clinically proven, if you follow the plan. If you want the info and to see personal result pictures, drop a comment. Okay, so that's how simple that one is. I personally do not add a picture. But one thing that I'm doing on both, now here's a little thing. Now this is where I think Christy's going to be phenomenal talking about. So hear what I'm doing, but she may change what I say and do what she says, okay? This is just what's working me for right now, but I've not heard these amazing tips. Now as of today, I've signed 10 customers. This lady signed 40 some. So clearly I need trained too, right? Because we all should always want to be better. One thing that's working for me is I keep a list of who posted for me. I go to it the second day and I bump it. On the business post, what I comment is my story. And if you're thinking, well, you've seen success. Well, guess what? I was a distributor once too. You still have a story. I wanted the product, so I joined the business so I could earn the product for free. Maybe that's your story. Great. Right? Put something in there that bumps it back up. And then like for the product one, I've just been saying, my results are phenomenal. And to think that I never even used to like to drink coffee. This has changed everything. So it just bumps it the next day. Okay, so there's my 2 posts. So like when I find out who wants to post for me, I have 2 options, business or product. I decide what I'm going to have them do based on their networks and themselves. Okay, there's that. There are my 2 ideas. Business picture with a small text. Product is short and sweet. What else would I would say? Is there anything else you can think of that I'm missing? Like, help me here. So the post idea, have them, like Trista said, I add everyone that comments. It adds to your network. So it does that. One thing that 100%, one thing we have to wrap our minds around is you're going to be talking to a lot of people. But wouldn't you love to know you're talking to people that want to hear from you? That doesn't mean they're going to say yes, but the fact that they even are interested, that is where, for me, and this is and actually I need to do a better job of it because I've dropped the ball probably this last 2 weeks. Just haven't really thought about it because my other ideas are working. But I remember last time I did it and I killed it when I went ambassador. This is exactly what I was doing. So I was having all these conversations about TFX and triple threat. Well, then you know how we're supposed to post consistently. I usually post 3 times a day. That's one thing that I've never backed down on because it works for me, okay? And it's not even so much that people join off my posts, but it's my posts that I guarantee I'm in the back of their mind because I'm always on social media, okay? Then when it comes to posting the before and after, what before and afters do I choose? I'm choosing before and afters based off of what I'm doing the host to post about. Right now, you're not, and there's nothing wrong with it, but right now I'm not posting before and afters of lash serum because that's not what I'm doing my host to post about. Because what I know is I just added all these people to my network. And yes, they've seen my picture, but depending on where we're at in the conversation, I'm not going to send them 700 before and afters. You know what I mean? And how many times people, let's be honest, I'm the same way, especially, I mean, heck, it takes me forever to follow through with anything, honestly. And so I honestly can imagine if I wasn't part of this business and I was talking to one of you, I'm genuinely interested, but I'll get distracted and forget about it. So if you don't follow up or you don't post something that reminds me that I'm interested, I'll forget about it. And it has nothing to do with me not being interested. It's just not on my radar because I don't realize how much value it can bring to my life. That's our job to show them why they need this product. So that was really working for me too. And I just need to do a better job of here. I've been putting it in my stories. That's where they've been coming from. But what else would you say?
That was honestly what you just said to kind of tie it all together was the one thing I wrote down. Like, it is so important to do a product that you're passionate about and that you love, but also that you use every single day, because what should you be doing in your story every single day? It seems so repetitive, you guys, but literally every single day, throwing in you making your coffee, you making your TFX, you making your collagen, whatever that product is for you. And then they're gonna see you genuinely using it. You're gonna throw in some other before and afters. You're gonna be able to send them your personal before and after, the very first thing. So I don't actually do that, so I'm glad you said that because I love that. But the more that they can see it over and over and over, the better. Because again, it's just that it's that reminder. And again, it all works together, right? The message is just like the planting the seed. Most people have to watch, and they have to see it 7 to 21 times before they ever really are ready to order. So, I love that. Okay, Christy.
Real quick. Yep. I thought of something.
Yep.
So if you guys saw my notebook, and I'm mad, I wish I would have brought it. If you saw my notebook, you would laugh. Like I said, I just signed my 10th one today this month. They all have come from host to post. I've had tons of host to post get 0 comments. So you've got to not get discouraged that you have host to post see 0. And to be honest, I'm going to be preachy for a second. That Satan already knows you'll give up. So he's like, all I got to do is make her do 15 posts, because when she gets no comments, she'll stop doing what she's supposed to be doing, because that's how homegirl works. Literally, that was me. I was like, fine, if Ashley says it works, I'm going to do it. Oh, that didn't work. I'll just do something else. But here was the best part. They weren't signing off my stories. They weren't signing off my posts. And what was a big eye-opener for me is my business usually explodes when I put my personal before and afters every time. Just recently, I had posted new ones and I didn't sign any from it. That did 2 things. That told me, okay, it's time to wake up. And 2, it was, okay, it's time to change your network too. Because your network has been the same for so long they already know what this product can do, right? So if they're interested, they're going to be interested. So here's what I would tell you is that I understand some of you may sitting in a boat and thinking, but I've done host to post before and it didn't work. Well, my question to you is, if I messaged you tonight and I said, how many customers have you signed this month? And you said 1, 2, 3, 4, or none. Well, guess what? Your posts aren't working either. And your stories aren't working. And clearly you making your coffee and your stories aren't working either. So do what is working and be willing to change it up. And the second that I started doing that, I'm just seeing such, and here's the thing, some people, like for me, like I'm very competitive. So to know that someone's doing 40, 50, 60, 10 seems like nothing. But I also know that I feel really good because I have a solid potential list. For the first time in a long time, I'm going to conference, so pumped to hear what they have to say because I have a ton of people to follow up with. I feel like I've normally gone into conference with like, okay, I want to hear what they have to say. And then I'm going to figure out a game plan. And then I'm going to think about how to analyze that game plan. And then the promotion's over. Well, shoot, where'd that 3 months go? Literally, that was my life. So start working now. Conference isn't for a few days.
Yep. Okay. Does change your network come from messaging different people? How do you do that? Honestly, a little bit of everything. Adding new is huge. Adding brand new, spanking new people, interacting with new. Going through, I mean, old school way, print out your friends list, go through it, interact with new people, find new people, message new people. But mainly for me personally, like just getting brand new people into my network and interacting with brand new people has been the key for me. How many should we be trying to get up in a week? Honestly, Cheryl, that is a very like personal, like for me personally, like I try to do 10 a day. Brittany might do completely different. I think that is just like based on you. That's a kind of personal. I think it's really important to do a number that you can do consistently. So rather than trying to bust out 40 in a day, just doing 5 a day, 10 a day. I think 10 is a good number. 10 is manageable, but that depends on if you work full time. I do this full time. And so getting up 10 is just a good number for me, but you have to find your number. When you interact with new, does that come from their stories? I interact a lot in stories. Either on Instagram, I interact actually like on my feed. On Facebook, I interact a lot more on story, but really just interacting with new, whatever that looks like. Okay, Christy, let's come to you.
All right.
Okay, so talk to us first about kind of like Tracy's stuff and what's working for her, but then you are so good at getting your new people started doing host to post right away. I want to hear your tips on how you get them to actually start doing the things.
Okay. I want a couple of things. There was a question earlier and I didn't want to interrupt, but someone asked like what products to use. And so I have a couple of things I'll say about that and then I'll get into Tracy's stuff. I, like Brittany and Trista said, I would use whatever products you're using and feel passionate about. I will tell you that I would pick a product, especially if you're going to do product and business, like Brittany was saying, but pick a product to do, because I made the mistake of giving everybody a different one. And then it becomes a nightmare if you have a couple of them that really hit. So pick a product to do. And I would pick products that have great upsells. So if you're going to do one about the cleanse, you could always upsell the greens with like, if this is a 2-day cleanse, but if you want a daily detox, a lot of people are adding greens. And then, like after you get their information for TFX, I think triple threat is a great upsell, or even just adding fat fighters or carb control with that is a great upsell. I think doing lash serum is a great one, and you could upsell hair, skin, nails. So be thinking about product pairings that you could do with the products that you use daily and that you're really passionate about. If you're doing keto coffee, chocolate greens is a no-brainer. So I just wanted to throw that out there and to tell you to pick a product, because when they hit, you'll lose your mind, which is a good thing, but not a great thing, especially if you're working full time. Okay. So Brittany talked a little bit about a conversation that I had with another triple diamond. Her name is Tracy Jo Rose. She's amazing. She is 50 years old. She's a former nurse. like I said, she's a triple diamond. She hit I think she's number 104 this year for top income earner. And one of the reasons is because she is consistently bringing in distributors, and she is consistently bringing in loyal customers month after month after month after month. And so I've been fortunate to get to know her a little bit better in the last couple of months. And so I reached out to her because either today or yesterday, she said that she had signed 9 distributors and 46 loyal customers this month. And I guarantee that number has gone up because she's just killing it. So I love what she had to say, because these are action steps that we can all put in place. They all make tremendous sense. They kind of go along with what Brittany was saying. So if you have like checked out and you're looking at your fingernails, or you're scrolling Pinterest for recipes or whatever, please, please, please get a notebook, and please get something to write these down, because it's going to make everything that Brittany and Trista just shared like pop and boom. We're out of time. Tune in tomorrow. Just kidding. That wasn't funny. Okay. So here's what I want you to know. She's very systematic with her interaction. And so beginning of the week, she is interacting in stories, and she is interacting with new friends, just like Trista and Brittany just said. And when I had to clarify this for some of my new teammates, so I want to clarify this with you. This does not mean interacting with other It Works people. That's not what it means. It means that you are scrolling through all of the It Works people in your story feed, and you're looking for people who are looking at your stories consistently. You're looking for new friends that you're adding to your network consistently. And you are, even if it's just, that interaction does not have to be like, hey, will you do a host post for me? This is like an interaction where you're like, oh my gosh, that trip looked amazing. I'm going to have to add that to my bucket list, like a genuine message or a genuine comment on their story, because that goes right into their messenger when you interact with people's stories. And so Facebook goes, oh, you two know each other. Let me make sure that you see one another's posts more consistently. So that is huge, interacting with people's stories. She is consistently looking at her recent friends that she adds, and she is specifically going to their page, scrolling through, and again, making genuine comments on their posts, because Facebook algorithm does the same thing. It goes, oh, you two know each other. You like to talk. Let me make sure that you guys see one another's post. So she spends a considerable amount of time, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, even Thursday, interacting a ton. She's also adding people to her network every single day during that time. Another thing that she mentioned in those posts that she's doing, and I checked her wall and I scrolled, it does not look spammy at all. And let me tell you, I love Tracy Jo, but she's not like a Pinterest goddess or anything. I mean, she's us. She's every woman. You know what I mean? Like, she's just taking posts. I mean, she's taking pictures of herself with her grandbabies. She's taking pictures of her coffee in the morning. Like, it's not like she has a professional photographer following her around. But her posts aren't spammy. They're not pictures off of Pinterest, like join my team. They are just her sharing her story about what the business has done for her life. She is sharing her story about what the products have done for her life. She's got some amazing results pictures. She shares stories of teammates and their success. So that's huge. But when if she sent me a friend request and I just scrolled through her page real quick, checking to see if she was a network marketer, you would not see it right away. You would just see a person who's active on social media. So I think that's super important. So just to recap what I've said already, she's adding new friends every single day. She is interacting with those new friends on their wall and in her stories and their stories, and she's making sure that her page does not look spammy. Let's see. So she's doing all of that interaction, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Towards the end of the week, because her interaction with other people's pages and other people's stories has been so high, she's generating lots of interaction on her page. So Thursday or Friday, she does that post like Brittany was just saying, an interaction post. Like the last one she did was kind of like Brittany's, like with the fur babies. You may have seen like leaders do one with, drop your favorite ice cream for an opportunity for cash or whatever. So she's doing those interactive type questions, but then she follows it up with, you'll get a chance to, win our $200 cash prize or whatever. Because she's been interacting with people in stories and on the wall all week, those posts are getting lots and lots and lots of comments. And so she does those on a Thursday or Friday, and then she spends the weekend. The work that she does on the weekend is getting people to get host to posts up for her. And so she's sending out those messages. She's getting host to posts going. Her host to posts are pretty old school, like we used to do back in the day, like last year, like she's, I need to ask her if she's having people tag or not. I didn't ask her that. But she's doing, right now she's had a lot of great success with Thermophyte X personally. So she's doing Thermophyte X and she is upselling with Triple Threat. And you guys, out of the 46 loyal customers that she has signed this month, she has upsold the Mocha Dreams pop-up when you enter a new customer. Everyone has taken her up on that. And, only 3 people haven't. So not only did the post start out for TFX, she upsells Triple Threat and then does an additional upsell of the Mocha Dreams. And so you can imagine, if I was a mathematician, that is huge BV. So upselling is huge. Hold please. So then, okay, like I said, she spends the rest of the weekend getting those posts out. And then, so along with interacting with people, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, she's going back to those posts and she's bumping them. She's making a comment on them. She's dropping another before and after picture. You can bet that she's dropping her own personal before and after pictures. I mean, I think she's lost something like 40 or 50 pounds, you guys. And so it's a dramatic before and after picture. And so I've seen the verbiage, and I'm not going to share the verbiage because like with what Brittany said, like if we all start using it, it won't work for her anymore and it won't work for you either. But she just leads with confidence. She assumes the sell, in her verbiage with people, after she gets their information. Hey, this great opportunity just popped up. I think it's amazing. It's a discounted price on our, our Mocha Dreams. You can even take a screenshot and send it to them. It's a limited time. You have 20 minutes to decide or whatever, but she just assumes the sell and she's confident because you guys, she believes in the products. They are working for her. So I wanted to share that tip too, because when I read what she's sending people, I was like, whoa, she really believes in this, so that's how we should lead, because we do really believe in these. She assumes the sell, and you know what? When you assume the sell, you get the sell. So that's what she's doing kind of in a nutshell. And then she just keeps that same process going. And guys, she's methodical with it and it works. So any questions about that? I don't look at the chat while I'm talking because it distracts me, but did anybody? Oops. Okay, you can holler at me if there are any questions, but I know some of you are thinking like, oh my gosh, that's it. That's what she's working the algorithm to her advantage because more people are seeing her posts. And I'm going to guess that she's tagging people. She's having people tag her because her host to posts are getting a lot of interaction even from people in her own network. So people are seeing it when it's initially getting posted because her interaction is so high. So I'm going to make that assumption that she's having them tag her. Okay, questions about that? Anyone?
Christy, one thing you kind of mentioned it, but I want to just reiterate it. One of the reasons that this works so well for her is because when you go to her page, it's not spammy. That is one of the keys to people interacting back with you, to people actually staying in your network, people making a post for you. Your posts, they have to be you. You don't want to get a generic post off Pinterest or generic picture. And like Christy said, like, you don't have to be an Instagram model. You don't have to be, you know, your pictures don't have to be perfect for the gram, but they need to be you, and they need to be clear, and they need to be, you know, crisp, and your page needs to look good. And sharing real life story and real life experience and real life testimony about the products is what sells. So you kind of mentioned that, but I just want to reiterate that. That is one of the biggest things that makes this all work together, is making sure that your page does not look spammy.
Yes, absolutely. So I love that I feel like, you know, what Brittany was sharing is kind of the nuts and bolts, like the face of host to post. But I feel like what Tracy Joe shared with me today is the behind the scenes magic that brings it all like to the next level. So it takes kind of what Brittany's doing, getting 10 customers and then taking it to 46. And I will tell you, she said same thing that Brittany said. You know, she said for a couple of months, she had lots of host to posts that just sat and did nothing. And she wasn't really super consistent with it in December, because she started thinking, wow, maybe host to posts aren't working again. And then in January, she was like, that's crazy. They're not working because I'm not working them. And so she really started focusing on that interaction piece and getting more eyes on her page. And it has paid off for sure. Okay, I'm going to switch gears. I want to talk about getting new people started. I think that's so huge, guys. I just want to say in general with getting new people started, I think when I'm talking to my own teammates who have signed distributors, there is this hesitation because we're so excited to sign a new person. The last thing that we want to do is to scare them away. And so sometimes when we sign people, we go, okay, I'm going to leave them alone. I'm just going to maybe send them some messages. And when they're ready, they're going to message me and they're just going to go all in. I'm going to tell you, they signed up with you because they are trusting you to coach and mentor them. You are the keeper of this knowledge. And so if you are not confident in sharing it with them, or at least pointing them in the right direction, they are going to give up and go away. So if someone joins with you and by you trying to coach them, they shut down and don't work, I'm going to tell you, they would not have worked anyway. So you're not going to hurt anything by helping them get started. So I just want to lead with that. Be confident. They signed with you for a reason. They signed with you because they know that you will coach them. So don't shy away from coaching. It's like that whole thing, assuming the sell. Assume people are going to work. You just might have to figure out the pace with which they can work, but just assume that they're excited and want to work. So I always start people with an online party. It's really important to help people get their first victories. But beyond that, with host to post, I think my team is just really good at saying, this is just what we do. We teach it early on. We don't wait till people have been in the business a year before we teach host to post, because quite honestly, for me, a lot of the people that are joining with me have done host to posts for me at some point. So they are not foreign to this concept of what a host to post is. They just know it from the other side. They have kind of watched it play out on their own page. So sometimes those people are people who they've done a host to post for me, it blows up, and I'm like, you've definitely got people in your network that are interested in these products. I think we should get you signed up. We'll work together to get them in, and you know, you've already got your first 4 customers in your $100 shopping spree. That happens. Or I just have people, they're the people that have consistently, like one of my girls that started for Ruby and is doing great. She had been watching me for a year. I can't even tell you how many host to posts she's done for me. So when I mentioned host to post, she was like, oh yeah, I got this. Like she knew what it was. So I bet some of your people know that too, but we get people started right away. We tag them in the post in the team page. I think it's still the one that Cassie Nero did. If you search in the team pages by host to post, I think the very first thing that pops up is that video that just explains what it is. Trista just did a great job of explaining it too. I personally send them what to do. You know, I send them, you know, you post this to your wall, you send this message to your friends, and then I give them kind of the verbiage or the script to use, especially for the first couple of ones, because you know how that was when you did your first Host to post, it's kind of like, it's like when you try to undo your bra with one hand from the back for the first time, you feel awkward. That was a really terrible analogy. But you know what I'm saying? It just feels awkward until you get into your rhythm, until you figure out whether you can handle 10 going on at the same time or whether 5 is a better number for you. So, and then, then I tag them in the post in the team page that has like a bajillion different scripts that you can use, but I encourage them to change up the wording and make it their own. But I think it's just part of that, assuming that people are going to work. And because they've signed with us, here's what we do. They don't know what we do. We're teaching them what we do. And what we do is host a posts. I think it's so important for new people because they still have their warm network who is excited for them and who are wanting to like cheer them on and do whatever they can to help them out. And so they get big success right away from doing host a posts. It automatically adds to their network right away. It teaches them very quickly about having those conversations. It teaches organization. It teaches follow-up. It teaches, having a system for keeping track of your potentials. All of that is kind of wrapped up in host a post. And so we teach it right away. And people just do it because it's what we do. It's part of our culture.
I love it. Oh, yep.
I think the daily task lists in the team pages has helped tremendously too, because there are tasks specifically focused on host a posts. And so it's teaching some of those maybe little tips and tricks that not everyone was aware of that just tweaks and helps your host to post get boosted a little bit more. So I think those have been huge. People that are following those daily tasks, those are the people that I see consistently adding names to our host to post for our giveaway, for sure.
Perfect, Christy. I love it so much. You just assume people are going to work. And I love that. Like, you're going to work. You're going to do the things because host to post is one of the most important things we can do. And when we get away from it, our businesses notice. So it's 10 o'clock. So we're going to wrap up. Does anybody have any other question before we hop off of here? Ashley, I will message you. I saw you just message me. I will message you. Anybody else have a question before we hop off? Otherwise, opportunity event this weekend or this week, you guys. So I had 2 people who did not realize it was conference week, and they're both going to be in Florida. So we're going to figure out what we're going to do about whether, I don't know, if we think this Wednesday is a good idea, or if we just want to do one like on Sunday when everybody gets home from conference, once everything is released. We will talk about that. So we'll post it in the team page what we decide to do. If I can find people to do it on Wednesday and Sunday, we'll do it. Otherwise, we might just do one on Sunday. But if you guys have any other questions, we'll hop off here if not. And let us know what you need. We're always here to help. Sometimes we don't know that you need us unless you ask. So let us know what we can do. Love you guys. Night.